Hello and welcome to the second webinar of the PRANIC Consciousness Process Intensive. We have started yesterday a series of 8 webinars in which we encompass all the techniques that I have practiced and the ascended masters that I work with are recommending to increase the pranic frequency and to maintain higher vibration, happier state of mind, and to transition into the fifth dimension as the planet is moving now into a new stage of evolution. We have 8 webinars in total, so we will be together every evening until July 24th. And we are preparing very big events that are happening now on the planet, very big cosmic events that have to do with planet Earth and with its evolution. As I've published 2 of my articles today on the Facebook page and on our website, soulhealingacademy.com, you can find out, you can learn from there what are the cosmic aspects that are influencing us in the next 2 years, but especially in the next few weeks. Is a very, very powerful energies that are coming from the central sun. It's a light portal that it's opening on August 8th, on 8/8, that is always enhancing our frequency and pushing a bit our physical bodies and also our energy bodies to evolve. So this training of 8 webinars is actually preparing us for what is happening in the next few weeks and the next 2 years that are very, very powerful for human evolution. We have, like I said, the Lion's Gate, the big cosmic event that is enhancing our frequency on August 8th, but until then on July 25th and July 27th, another very important shift is happening because according to the Mayan calendar, the 25th and 26th are very important days as regarding to the end of a cycle and beginning of a new cycle. So basically we are entering through a gate of amazingly powerful energy that is enhancing our bodies and our states of mind and our personal and planetary evolution. And this training called the PRANIC Consciousness Process is preparing us for that and is raising the frequency of all those participating so that we cope better with this state of energy that is flowing through us. This second training is going to be about the power of staying connected, how to stay connected to yourself, to your inner guidance, your intuition, and to your light guides. And I'm sure many of you are especially interested in that because we have to stay centered in the middle of the storm these days, and regardless of the place we're in and regardless of the what we have to do and how busy our life is, we have to maintain that centeredness, that state of connection that helps us take the right steps and make the right decisions. Until not many minutes ago, I was in a very, very busy city, traveling through malls, trying to update a little bit my technology, which is not my forte. So it has been very challenging for me in the last few hours to be able to navigate through so many people and through so many diverse places filled with many electronic devices. As you know, the electronic devices are impacting our field, and therefore I have been challenged into staying centered and staying positive during this journey of mine. And I think that is the test now for all of us, you know, or the lesson, or the fun, we could say, to be able to stay centered in the middle of the storm, and to to stay connected, to stay aligned in the most challenging situation, in the most difficult situation. So this is what we're talking about during this webinar. This is what the theme of tonight is gonna approach. You have a description above or below the video, depending on where you're watching. If you're watching on Facebook, on your smartphones or iPhones, it should be below the video, and if you're watching on laptop, it should be next to the video. That description is taking you to the place where you could join the whole training. So this is an intro. This is a brief description, and we're gonna share a few insights together, but at some point the Facebook video will stop, and to continue to be able to see the whole webinar of 1 hour or 1 hour and a half, you are invited to join through that link. So you can join either this webinar or the series of 8 webinars, which is what we recommend, because it's a complete training, enhancing you and recalibrating your auric field and beautifully reshaping your structures, physical and energetic structures, to embrace more of this pranic flow that is coming now on the planet, because it is a time for evolution. It is a time for shifting. It is a time for stepping into our divine human blueprint. It is a time of stepping into and shifting into our divine DNA, so that we can manifest or master fully the skills that we came to bring into this world, and the gifts that we came to give to the planet and to ourselves and to all the others around us. So this is the time that we are facing now, and this is what this class is about. Feel free to join us either in one webinar or full class with daily meetings until July 24th, so that you are enhanced, energized, cleansed, repatterned, and nourished every evening with each webinar that we're doing. Towards the middle or the end of each webinar, we also have a very powerful pranic meditation that is, or guided exercise, whatever you want to call it, where we are having dinner together with prana, no food involved, and we are recalibrating our fields and connecting to source and connecting to the yin yang energies that are meant to balance our energy field and to open ourselves to more pranic nourishment, and to open our energy fields to more of this energy that's coming through. So that's another benefit of what we're going to share tonight. So looking forward to see more of you joining in, and we're stepping right into the theme of tonight. I'm seeing more of you joining. Please let us know, where are you joining from? So where is the location that you're joining from, so that we can know how far out we're reaching with this training. And also, please let us know what are the questions that you have for tonight. So maybe, what are your challenges with staying connected? What are you facing when you try to stay connected in every situation? And what do you do to reconnect when you feel you're a little bit out of sync? What do you do to reconnect? So let us know what is your method, or what do you prefer to learn from us, and what do you hope to find out during this training. It's very useful that you commune with us, because that is helping us actually be in alignment with what you need, and present exactly what you need without going, you know, beating around the bush. We go directly into the theme that is really, really of interest for you, and in a very, very, you know, down to earth way, getting directly to where you need to go. So your questions are of very much help for us. Feel free to use the comments of Facebook or YouTube to ask these questions so that we know what we talk about tonight and what do you want to know about how to stay connected, about connectivity, about being in tune with source and with your higher self and with your intuition. And until you start asking questions, I'm going to ask you a question. What is your biggest challenge with staying connected? When do you feel, and what is the situation where you usually feel that you disconnect a little bit? What is the most challenging aspect that you are confronted with when it comes to staying connected? For some of us is being with family. You know, I've seen many colleagues of mine that are very well off in their apartments, in their homes, or wherever they are, but if they're meant to spend some days with the family, when do you feel, and what is the situation where... Just a sec, I've been connecting on both channels and it started to hear the sound. So for some, like I said, being in amidst the family is sometimes challenging, and whenever they go visit their family, whenever they spend more time, it seems like the zen is going off a little bit. For others, it is going to work, and when they go to work, they're really not at ease, and they lose a bit of their state of connectiveness, the state of intuition, the state of feeling in flow, either because the work environment is not so good, or because the boss or the colleagues are not the most positive person they could meet, and so on. For others, it could be when they are in an attachment into a relationship, and the relationship is challenging, or the partner, you know, leaves or doesn't behave the way you would hope to, and so on, and they kind of lose their zen a little bit, or they start to go more into their ego than into their higher self decisions, and so on, because there's always a play between personal will and divine will, right? Divine will is what we call the voice of your higher self, the voice of your guides, that feeling, that gut feeling, that even whisper that you clearly hear sometimes, that is pointing you towards the right path, and that you very often choose to ignore. Many of us are, not just you, but even to me, it does happen sometimes that I drift away, maybe for very little moments from what I clearly know I should be doing. And the should is not a should of you know, compelling. It's a should of what is the best version for me. So sometimes I do drift away from that, but only to be placed back on path very quickly. So my life is no longer about my will and my persona and my personality and my personal choices. It has started being for quite a while about what is more in alignment with source, and what is the best version for all the ones involved. And usually the best version for all the ones involved is the best version for me as well, because we're all connected, and when we choose the best version for all the ones involved, we actually impact ourselves as well. So people think that when they do things to their own benefits in the detriment of others, they're actually gaining something. No, when we do things that are harming others, or that are not for the higher good of all, we're actually the first one to harm is ourselves, because that connectivity that should be there if it's going into disconnection, that is the most painful thing for your soul. And that is, we could never make a choice that is only beneficial for us without taking into consideration all the parts involved, because that would first and foremost hurt ourselves, or be in detriment of ourselves. So that's the number one law of connectivity. Stay connected to yourself, stay connected to your higher self, and be aware that you are connected to all the others, all the way around you. And every choice is meant to be for the higher good of all, for the win-win-win of all the ones involved. So that's the first law of connectivity and how to stay connected. Always respect what you feel is right and try to align with it and make choices from that point, because your soul always knows and is whispering to you what is the best for the best of all. That would be the first law of connectivity. So that's the law that I'm following lately, and it's not an option for me that I follow another law, because that's the only possibility for me at the moment. Once I have chosen in 2013 to only do things in alignment with Source, since then my life has changed a lot, and although my choices seem limited because I'm no longer following my free will, so to speak, I also live a life that is much more coherent lately, and all the choices that are made in my life are usually operating for the higher good of all, even though sometimes are completely illogical or make no sense to some, or so, are always having a happy end. And there's been a challenge for me to trust that, because sometimes I've been guided to make decisions that are completely illogical or seem to have no support of what we call safety, and even no support of resources. But I always make these choices and I always take these paths. I've learned to trust, and whenever I trust, or each time I trust, with each step that I trust, even though I have no idea how the end result is going to come out, and I have no idea how I'm going to get that end result, every time it turns out that it is the best of the best of the best possibility, the one that comes through direct guidance, more than your mind could think of, more than you could ever be able to orchestrate yourself when you follow universal mind, when you follow what we call divine will, and you put aside your personal will, your free will, what you call the free will, then it is possible to access the infinite possibilities of this universe and of your life. And people say that we should respect free will and that free will is important and so on. I always say free will does not exist, and free will is actually a construct of all the programs and imprints and social behaviors that you have learned that are pointing you into making certain decisions that it seems that there are your personal decisions. It seems that you have so much freedom that you are able to do to make these decisions or these steps. It looks like it's very good that you have these options, but actually, if you were to look deeper at the place where you're choosing from, you would, most of us, see that the place of choice is the conditioning, the imprinting that we've had, because that's all your mind could generate, a copy paste version of what has happened before, either in your life or in the life of the ones you have learned from, your parents, your tutors, your society, your nation, and so on, your people, your tribe. That's what you replicate in your life with your choices. I'm going to take a moment to just make a brief change in my environment here, and I'm going to come back to you in a second. And so what we call free will is actually the freedom to stay bounded to all the versions that you or the others have repeated before, because there's nothing new, there's no newness into that programming, into those choices. Whilst when you tune in to the universal mind, you put your mind aside and you are tuned to the universal mind, to the divine mind, to the inner guidance that is generating the solutions, the best solutions in your life, it is then that you access limitlessness and limitless connectivity, limitlessness and the infinite possibilities, when your mind is no longer questioning the guidance that you're receiving, and when you finally choose not to follow your mind and to follow your heart. That's when free will is set aside and divine will is falling into place, coming into place. And that's when your life gets in alignment, or sets itself in alignment with the universal flow, with the divine flow, with the harmonious stream of possibilities that you can access. So that's about all for the intro. I would like to add also that each webinar is held in the presence and with the help of an Ascended Master. And tonight, the one that has recommended getting back into connectivity, getting back in connection with Source, and has supported, is supporting me into delivering the methods that can get you back to staying connected and can maintain you into staying connected. This Ascended Master is called Kuan Yin, is the goddess of compassion in the Asian tradition. Many of you probably heard of it, and those of you who haven't heard of it, it is a goddess that is very similar in energy to Mother Mary, that is in the Christian tradition, or very similar in energy to Tara in the Tibetan tradition. So very, very compassionate, very, very pure and light energy, and very, very harmonious presence that is granting the best and most beautiful results for our lives when you stay tuned to that frequency, to that vibration, to that purity. So as I said, this has been an introduction, and this is all for now. For those of you who are watching on Facebook, I hope that you follow the link below this or above this video that is taking you to the training to access the full access to this workshop. And I hope to be seeing you as well in the next webinars in the next 6 days, because it's a training of 8 days in total, and this is the second day. So follow the link, join us, and get access to the continuation of this training, as you do want to watch it all, and you do want to learn how to stay more connected and to be more connected with your higher self, with your spirit, with your divine guides as well, while you are amidst the day-to-day tasks and the day-to-day activities. So hugs of love to all of you watching, and hope to see you in this continuation of the video, also live or during the recording that we are making.